On national TV, Paul Finebaum made it crystal clear. In his view, the Alabama Crimson Tide was entering a new era, one of decline. Without Nick Saban at the helm, he claimed, Alabama might finally be overtaken by rivals like Auburn, LSU, or even Georgia. It was a moment that left fans stunned, not because it came from a rival talking trash, but because it came from someone who had covered the Tide for years. But just days after Finebaum's provocation, a five-star recruit made headlines, not just by committing to Alabama, but by what he said and did immediately after arriving. Suddenly, the noise faded. Suddenly, those doubting Alabama's future had to take a second look. And it wasn't just him. Today, we'll tell you how this single player, and the 10 others who joined in the last 11 days, may have just turned the tide again. We'll also unpack a wild rumor. Is Nick Saban still running things behind the scenes? And why did one mom have to step in and clear the air? And we're saving the most unbelievable twist for last, because that same recruit who answered Finebaum's jab may be about to flip the entire SEC narrative. Let's break it all down, right now on Roll Tide Press. The numbers don't lie. Alabama has landed 10 commitments in just 11 days. That pace is almost unheard of, even during the golden years under Saban. But this time, it's different. Not just because of the quantity, but the quality. Let's start with the basics. This 11-day window brought in 4 5-star players, 6 4-star athletes, commitments from top 100 overall recruits across offense and defense. A geographic spread from Texas, Georgia, Florida, and even Ohio. But what does it mean? It means the narrative that Alabama was going to collapse post-Saban is falling apart, fast. The recruiting energy feels different. Insiders say the vibe around Tuscaloosa is electric. And not just because of who's committing, but how. Players are saying yes on the spot. There's less waiting, less drama, more clarity. Why? Because Kalen DeBoer and his staff aren't just good recruiters. They're organized, strategic, and hungry. Multiple prospects told 247 Sports and On3 that what sealed the deal was the vision. The staff isn't just selling tradition anymore. They're building something new, and players want in early. Even media members who were skeptical have started to admit, something serious is happening in Alabama right now. Who are the headliners? Let's highlight a few names. Jireh Edwards, 5-star safety. Physical, instinctive, and vocal. Compared to Minkah Fitzpatrick for his range and leadership, he's the spiritual anchor of this class. You probably saw the rumor floating around. Is Nick Saban still running things behind the curtain? The idea started gaining traction when Alabama's recruiting pace suddenly exploded. Some fans and commentators said, that has Saban's fingerprints all over it. Let's be honest, it's not hard to believe. Saban is a control freak. He built the most efficient dynasty in college football history. It's not a leap to imagine he's still whispering advice to DeBoer, maybe sending texts, maybe watching film with staff. But here's where it gets complicated. The mother who spoke up, one of the top recruits' moms, name withheld out of respect, made a statement that caught fire on social media. She said, "Everyone wants to think Coach Saban was the reason my son committed, but that's not true. Coach DeBoer and his staff earned that, period." It was subtle but powerful, and it directly challenged the idea that this class is somehow a result of Saban's continued grip. Other recruits echoed the sentiment. They came because of what's happening now, not what happened in the past. So, is Saban secretly running the show? Maybe he gives advice. Maybe he checks in. But this class belongs to DeBoer, and they're just getting started. Let's go back to Jireh Edwards for a moment. It's not just about his talent, it's about what he represents. Shortly after committing, Jireh posted on X, formerly Twitter, "We're building something different. Don't come to Bama to just wear the jersey, come to make history." He didn't stop there. He tagged several 5-star prospects, including a top-ranked running back and wide receiver. And guess what? One of them reshared it, another liked it. And recruiting insiders are now whispering that Alabama might be flipping another big name soon. Jireh isn't just a recruit, he's recruiting, and that changes everything. In the modern game, when players recruit players, that sends a bigger message than any coach ever could, because it says, we believe in what's coming next. Jireh's move silenced a lot of doubters, including maybe one in particular. And that's exactly where we're headed next. What Finebaum said and why it backfired. Let's revisit what kicked all of this off. When Paul Finebaum sat in front of the cameras last week, he wasn't subtle. His tone wasn't playful, it was clinical, cold. Like someone reading an autopsy, he said very clearly that Alabama was entering a new chapter, and not a good one. You lose Nick Saban, you lose your identity. What happens now? Auburn smells blood. LSU isn't going anywhere. And Georgia already took the throne. Alabama might just slide back into the pack. Those weren't just opinions. They were fighting words. The reaction was immediate. Bama Twitter lit up. Former players took to podcasts. Some laughed it off, others didn't. Finebaum had thrown a match on a dry field, and the flames spread fast. But what makes this story so satisfying isn't just the backlash, it's what happened next. Because while Finebaum was talking, Alabama was moving. That same weekend, 3 new commits dropped, including a 5-star pass rusher who, by all accounts, had been leaning toward Ohio State. Then came the video clips, behind-the-scenes footage from campus visits, players hugging coaches, families breaking down in tears during presentations. One scene in particular stood out. A recruit's younger brother, no older than 9 or 10, wearing a Crimson Tide jersey 2 sizes too big, standing next to Jireh Edwards and mimicking his handshake. The comment Jireh made in that moment? "You're next, little man. Gotta be ready when it's your turn." That clip went viral. Not because it was flashy, but because it felt real. It reminded everyone that Alabama isn't just a brand, it's a culture. That culture might look different under DeBoer. But the heart, the legacy, it's still beating. Just days after Finebaum's quote circled the SEC like wildfire, Jireh posted again. "Some people talk, some people build. Guess which one we're doing?" The timing was no coincidence. That same afternoon, he did an Instagram live Q&A, thousands tuned in. He didn't name names, didn't mention Finebaum, but the energy was unmistakable. People doubt because they don't understand. That's fine. Let them talk. We'll see who's talking next year. Then came the mic drop. "I'll just say this, I'm not coming alone." Watch the next 30 days. With that, the chat exploded. Comments flooded in. Who's coming? Another 5-star? DeBoer cooking far. It wasn't a press conference. It wasn't a headline. It was a recruit controlling the media cycle. That's new. That's Jireh. They're reshaping it. Yes, Saban left a dynasty. Yes, there were doubts. And yes, the media, even allies like Finebaum, wondered if it would all fall apart. But what we're seeing now is something deeper. Recruits aren't just committing, they're committing with vision. Players aren't just joining, they're pulling others with them. And fans, they're not just reacting, they're believing again. Jireh Edwards may be one player, but he represents a movement. He didn't go silent after committing. He didn't play it safe. He stepped up, he spoke out, he recruited. And in doing so, he did what no press release could. He made Alabama look like Alabama again. So to all those who doubted, to all those who declared the dynasty over, maybe it's time to pause. Because if Jireh is right, and if Alabama really is just getting started, then the rest of the SEC might be in for a long, loud, painful surprise. This is Roll Tide Press, and we're not done yet.